Right, welcome to the Liverpool Connection podcast. We are back in the pub here with Delcros. I'm Julian. We're here to discuss pre-season. Nearly over. We've got a couple of games left. We just finished up the tour in America, which by all accounts was extremely successful. We're also going to discuss the Zubimendi. We're recording this on Wednesday night, and news broke today that we're interested in signing him, and it also seems that the player is open to the move as well. So we'll have a chat about him and see where he fits into the new Arnie Slot Liverpool. So Delcros, welcome. How are things?
Good. Not a bother now. It's hot here in Austin. Early August, but no, all good. How did you get on in South Carolina?
All right, so it's hot here.
Yeah,
very hot. I think it's hit like over 100 degrees today. But South Carolina, stepped off the plane.
Couldn't have been hotter.
I was in a shower of sweat immediately.
Yeah.
So humid. And that was like the first 2 days. It was rotten.
Yeah.
And you're looking and you're thinking and you're taking in the weather. And you're like, fuck, how are the players going to deal with this? I mean, this is brutal. And then it rained. It got kind of the pre-effects of the hurricane that was coming in to hit Florida. And yeah, the rain came in and it cooled it down considerably. But yeah, the weather was pretty rotten.
Yeah.
It was either extremely humid and unbearable, or you were absolutely drenched. But it was a nice place, and it was a great. The stadium we played at, College Stadium, was packed. I think it was sold out.
Yeah,
it's fantastic, beautiful stadium.
I looked at it now on telly.
Yeah, great place, great stadium. But we'll get onto that in a minute. So we'll talk about the pre-season, how we did in America, all that good stuff. But let's get straight into transfers. Everyone's, of course, waiting for transfers. Slot and the coaching team, understandably, wanted to look at what we have so far and why rush into anything. You know, Jurgen's left us with a pretty good squad, so you don't want to make any drastic changes. But it seems that the number 6 that we know we have needed for 2 seasons is likely on its way. Now, Zubimendi is the one that we have been linked with. The name came out today after Ornstein put out like a mysterious tweet on Tuesday to say we were looking at a number 6 that doesn't play in England. But now it's been discovered that it's Zubimendi, plays for Real Sociedad. Has been there his entire career. He's been a major player in the first team for the last 5-6 seasons. Played a lot of games, over 40 games every single season. Doesn't seem to get injured, which is a good thing for us with our previous injury problems.
Especially in the midfield.
And he's an interesting one. I don't think he's one that many predicted, which is how Edwards and Liverpool tend to do business, especially for centre midfielders. We saw it with Fabinho, but we haven't had much time to think about this or read up on him. But what do you think? What's your first initial impressions?
Look, I think it's. I don't think it's any great surprise, to be honest with you. I think we've been crying out for a number 6 for probably two years now. It's interesting that I think he had a look at what he had. I don't think it's a great surprise just on looking at how we tried to play throughout this pre-season tour in America. Looks like we're going to play a lot of ball. It's going to come out from the back and we're going to ping it around nice and slow and then try hit fast.
Yeah.
And I don't think so. I like Endo. I thought Endo was a really good signing for us. I thought he'd done really, really well. But I think the one limitation that he did have was his range of passing. Yeah. I don't think he was a great passer of the ball. He was dogged, he was determined, and he got in and around the place and broke shit up. But I don't think he was a great ball player. And I think probably Slot looked at that and went, it's not going to do it. I've got to go and get myself a ball playing number 6. And this is what this young fella looks like. He is, from what I read a little bit about him today, he wins the ball high up the field. He's a good passer of the ball. He retains the ball really well. His pass completion is really good. And I think that's, looking at how we played in the few games over here and watching them on telly, that's what we're going to try do. And I think we really do need a real good ball player in the middle of the field, and not somebody that's going to go out and be a big hitter. It doesn't look like he's going to be somebody that's going to get.
He's not one of those.
No,
he's not as you would call like a
footballer.
Destroyer.
Yeah.
He's just a very clean footballer that's good in transitioning, and obviously Slot has had time. He's obviously looked at and played numerous players that he's had available in that sixth position. He's tried Jones there, Soboslai played there. Bajetic, of course, we know his quality. He's come off the bench a couple of times. When Jones started there, he got caught in possession a couple of times, and that's probably Jones's biggest issue with him being a six. Is he's kind of slow on the ball. Now this fella, the Sociedad, what he plays. They normally play a 3, and he's kind of like the deeper one. But they play slow from the back, and that's what it looks like Slot is going to play. Where Klopp is a lot quicker, get it over to the fullbacks, push forward. It looks like here it's going to be about someone that's really good in close possession, like quick on the turn, can handle pressure coming in, that you drag the other team in, and then he's able to hit a quick pass. And that's what he is. He seems to be really technically quite gifted on the ball and high awareness of what's around him as well. And I think that's an issue with Endo. He got caught out a few times doing that last season. I think it's an issue with Jones. In a way, it's a bit of an issue with McAllister in that position as well. McAllister, I think, it's not his ideal position. He's definitely better when he's pushed further forward. And if Slot is looking at having Zubimendi, I get his name right?
Yeah.
We're getting used to it. It's all right.
Zubi.
What was the song?
Zubi.
I don't know. Who has that? Doesn't it Leeds? Don't Leeds? It's Kaiser Chiefs.
Kaiser Chiefs, yeah.
Leeds, I think, use one of those. But it looks like it's a possibility that it's going to be Zubi, McAllister, Soboslai as a 3, which is quite intriguing.
So does this end now, the whole Trent coming in? Are we going to see, do you think now we'll see Trent in a more traditional sort of right back, wing back role, or do you see him coming in maybe playing alongside of this kid?
I don't know. I mean, not necessarily. Of course, he hasn't got to work with Trent yet. Slot, even though he doesn't like to talk about formations, as we saw with Chris the Redman TV, but he has played. He has played at 2, in midfield. So there is that potential where Trent could come in and do something similar to what he did last season. That's kind of up in the air. I don't know. I would say that's.
I think it's over. I think that door's closed now.
Maybe.
I think that's a chapter of that book that's over, and I think we're going to see Trent a lot more. Watch this come back and bite me in the arse now. Season hasn't even begun, and I've come out with a fucking perler. But I'm going to stick my neck out. I think that's probably that thing closed off.
Maybe.
And I think we'll see Trent
in
a much more traditional right back role.
I'm not so sure the hybrid as such is closed off. I think Trent in midfield permanently. I just don't see that. I don't see that yet. Klopp and his coaching team
we've seen it with
never
England.
saw it in 8 years,
England.
and he didn't really work with England.
No,
he had the chance, didn't he? I mean, Southgate, for all his failings, gave him the opportunity in 2 games. He had moments here and there, but you got to take it.
And he didn't.
No. So it's an interesting Zubi. Yeah. Interesting.
Well, we got to get it over the line.
He's not the destroyer that people want, and that from day one, it's been fairly well known that that's not really what Slot wants. He wants someone that can play out from the back, be really technically good in possession, and be able to give it to the fellas that are really good in bringing the ball forward. But this link. If it does go through, but even if it doesn't, it's kind of the clearest indication yet of how Slot is looking to play.
I think that's what struck me the most about the 3 games that I watched that they played here, and then just kind of reading up on this fella, what he's about. It looks like that's what Slot is looking to do. He's not looking for a hard hitter like your old school number 6.
Do you think this means that maybe we'll shift Endo out?
I think so. I tell you, there could be a couple of them to go, to be honest with you.
There is a lot of There's a lot of options in midfield.
Yeah, I think I tell you another fella now that might be looking over his shoulder a little bit is Gravenberch.
Yeah, he was linked with Galatasaray.
Yeah.
I think within the last week as well. And it's like we have a lot of players in the midfield. I mean, we have, if we talk about who we have currently, we have Jones, we have Soboslai, we have McAllister, we have Endo, we have Bajcetic, we have Morton,
Elliott.
we have Elliott, who obviously can play in midfield as well. We have Clark as well, like a youngster. So we have a lot of bodies in there, and I wouldn't be surprised if Morton is sold rather than loan. I wouldn't be surprised if Clark goes out on loan. I wouldn't be surprised if Endo is sold, and then you still have a bunch of options in there as well. And Bajcetic actually, looking, and obviously I've been looking at a lot of the footage of Zubi today, and kind of they're similar. They have the same kind of the way they play. They're really, really good on the ball. Have a great eye for a pass. So I think Bajcetic, I would hope will stay around. So I think he's a great option to have in there as well.
I think the two. If we get this over the line, I think the two that will probably suffer the most, and that will. I think Endo will more than likely. We'll get a few quid. We'll get 15 or 20 million for him, which would be a good.
And he's
could be a bit of business.
And
he's been brilliant. No, he's done very good.
He did his job last season. He is a huge
100%
element to why we got back in the Champions League.
100%. I think he done very, very well, but I think he was limited in that position.
100%.
And I think with this new sort of system that Slot is looking to play, I just don't think he's suited for that. He was very good at winning the ball back, looking up and going, okay, where's McAllister, where's Trent, and giving it to them, and they were hitting the killer pass. Whereas here, and it was too slow. Often that slowed shit down, and we were there. Why are we pedestrian? Why are we slow? Whereas I think here, Slot is looking to go. It's going to go out to this new fella, and straight away it's going to go to the killer pass, rather than having to go to another fella before you hit the killer pass. And I think that's the key here.
And it's good. So it's a good segue. I mean, it's all linked really. But talking about like the pre-season, we just finished up in America, seemed extremely successful. Leading on from Endo, and he had that game, I think, against Betis, the first one, and he was poor. And it was pre-season; it was the first game, right? But that kind of thing sticks with the manager, and it was noticeable. We didn't start again after that, and he tried different players in that position. But we won against Betis, won against Arsenal, and then of course we won against the Manx. Are there any did you watch all three games?
I did.
Is there any players that you think took their opportunity? And I'm speaking like the youngsters that you see this every pre-season. You see a couple of youngsters really step up.
I honestly thought I just think Bradley kind of started where he left off. He's an easy one. We probably shouldn't really consider him.
No, we should.
Well, maybe
he's fine for a spot right back, and he was really good.
I think he done very, very well.
Yeah.
I also Salah looks fucking super sharp.
He looked very sharp. Salah looks very good.
I like Curtis Jones. I think he really.
Yep.
I think he understands the task here and understands the ask. It's like, okay, let me take my opportunity. I need to shine. It looks like he tried really hard. I think Kwanzaa's fucking class, and I think he could actually realistically be pushing to be starting to be our main pairing centre backs, him and Virgil for the season.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree.
Really
I mean, every time you see Kwanzaa, he looks like a mini. You wouldn't say mini because he's a very tall, big guy, but he's like a mini Virgil.
Yeah.
Like, he mirrors him.
Yeah.
He's magnificent. I think you've got to be careful. Obviously, he is young, especially for a centre back. But he is absolute class, and I don't think you would have it where you would start. I think you're asking for trouble if you start Kwanzaa and Bradley on that side. I think that I'm not so sure you would do, but Kwanzaa's brilliant. Yeah. And we know that, and he has massive potential.
I thought my boy done well as well. Quivine,
he's class, isn't he?
It's going to be really interesting to see what goes on with him, because realistically, he's too good to be a number 2. So I don't know what's going to happen with him. I like to think that we wouldn't sell him
I hope not.
But at the same time, I feel for him. He deserves and needs to play. But so we'll see what that.
Of course, we're going to be extremely selfish, and yes, we would love for him to like stick around for whenever that moment Alisson leaves, because you have that perfect replacement. But yeah, he was brilliant. About Carvalho, he has 2 goals, brilliant goal against Arsenal, another good goal against Man United. What about him?
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe my view of him is kind of a little bit tainted, and I kind of hard to look past the previous couple of pre-seasons and the time he did kind of play a little bit before he went out on loan. I just don't think he's a Liverpool
player. There's no doubt he's got natural scoring ability. He's got an eye for goal. He scores goals, and he did it really well last season with Hull. But even with us before he went out, you were in the last minute. I think he scored against Man City. He scored against Newcastle.
Yeah, he scored last minute, didn't he, against Newcastle?
He just has a lot of. There's a lot of players in the way. I would say on that side where he plays. He's got Diaz, Gakpo, Nunes can play there. Jota can play there. Carvalho's on the other side.
Yeah, but
then he's got, there's more of a chance maybe for him to get in the team. But we are going to have a lot of games. The extended, the Epic Champions League as well. But it's hard to see Carvalho being any more than not just a bit player, but a real small, minute bit player in this team.
I just don't think he's got. I don't think he'll be. He looks like a fella that really needs to be cuddled and loved. And I think he probably needs, the more he plays and the more he plays well, I think the more he can come up. I just don't see him in front of the players that you just named, and I think that's something that's probably not helping him either. Is if you look at all the rest of the players, they can be quite fluid within that front three. I don't think he can be. No. I think he can stay out on that side, and that's what he's got, and that's where you're going to get him. I don't think you can kind of maneuver him around.
He's a very
the front three.
He's a very limited version of Coutinho. Is what he is. Coutinho was absolute class.
Yeah.
Right. But and Carvalho is he's kind of that kind of player. He's that version. He's nowhere near Coutinho's class, but he's that kind of player. But I would agree with you. I think we probably will sell him.
I think
if we get 25 million.
Yeah, I think between him and Endo, we'll probably get the bulk of the fee for this Zubimendi fella back.
Zubimendi,
which is good fucking business.
And the next kid, he feels like a seasoned old pro now. But Harvey Elliott, we've got to have a word about him.
But
he was outstanding.
Yeah, I mean, I don't view him as a fucking kid anymore. He's one of these guys again he the same thing, same as kind of Kwanzaa. Yeah. I think this year, he's really going to be pushing to be in that team, whether it's in the front three, whether it's in the midfield three, whether it's in a kind of a number 10. I don't know how they're going to do it, but he's another fella again where you're kind of looking at he's going to be chomping at the bit, and he's good enough to play for most teams. So I don't know. Yeah,
he would be a starter for the majority of Premier League teams. Maybe not City, maybe not Arsenal.
Yeah.
But once you start getting Villa and down, then Harvey Elliott is more than good enough, I think, to get into those teams. But it was good. So I just got back from Columbia, South Carolina. Small place. I was surprised. It's a real college town.
Yeah,
so when the college when they're not there, fucking dead. Tiny little place. But some great bars there, and Liverpool put on amazing events all over the city.
Yeah.
I mean, we had tons of ex-players there. Gary McAllister was there. John Barnes was there. Sammy Hippier. Lucas, Leva, and I'm sure I'm forgetting some others, but we obviously the Anfield Rap were there as well. Jamie Webster, Mark Kenny, Webster was there. So we're all going up to the stadium, right? And then we go to the fan park, and we're in the fan park, and the Anfield Rap are doing their bit on stage, and then it just starts bucketing down with rain.
Oh, shite.
Like going mental. We were all like little t-shirts, and so, nothing like that. And then that was when Webster came out to play, and just as the storm came in. But he was there. Mark Kenny played a bunch of gigs, but it was really well organised.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of it, we walked all around the city, and it was noticeable. And it wasn't just because we were focused on the Liverpool stuff. You didn't see hardly any Man United stuff going on anyway.
Yeah.
Like every pub, every bar, every restaurant you went into, it's majority was Liverpool fans. And as I say, it's a small place.
Well outnumbered, were they?
Well outnumbered. But yeah, it just felt like there was nothing from Man United, which was good for even in the fan park.
Yeah.
And that was a mixed zone.
Yeah, it's for
fan park. Right? And it's all, I mean, you never have this. You imagine this in England?
Yeah, no, I remember when we had when the NBC came down here as well with the fan zone thing as well, and there was a free for all, and near the end of the afternoon things were starting to get a little bit dicey.
It was good. And then the game, massive stadium, ridiculous for a college team, but that's what it's like over here. And we played.
Was it USC? Really well. Was it USC, University of South Carolina?
Yes. USC. Yeah, I believe so. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
That sounds good. It was. And we played well. We put on a good performance. Man United just
need a shocking tour, hadn't they?
Disaster. They've had. I mean, not they just lost. I think they've lost every game.
Yeah.
They lost against Arsenal. I think they lost one previously. But they picked up a bunch of injuries.
Yeah.
They're still playing Casemiro as like a freaking centre back. Yeah. And they've no game plan whatsoever. You don't. I mean, you could tell with us.
So
we have a particular plan that we're trying to do. The Man United don't fucking have a clue. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. That's the one. That was the one thing I looked out for in the first few games. And all right, can we see if there's a way we're going to play? And really quickly, you could tell.
You could notice it. Right?
Yeah, we're going to play football.
The Manx.
And you look at them and you kind of go, still to this day, like they don't really have a way that they're going to play. Like you can look at them and go, oh, that's Man United.
Yeah, they had, and that's why your boy Arne was a bit irritated at the end of the game as well, even though we won the game.
Yeah.
It looked quite comfortable as a scoreline. And they had some good chances first half. Your boy Kelleher was magnificent first half. But they did. We gave up, and that's something that we need to obviously work on. That's going to be, it's going to hurt us unless we don't. But they had a bunch of chances. It was noticeable. Rashford
being booed.
We were fairly close. We were behind the goal, like right opposite where Rashford was. And the first 10-15 minutes on the ball, Rashford. Probably the most talented player, one of the most talented, I should say. Salah was on the pitch, and a number of others. But what he does with the ball, the way he moves, the way he pivots, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Then tackle comes in from Bradley, right? And then that was it. His head went down, and he literally stopped moving.
Why was he getting booed?
Just gave up. He booed because when that tackle came in, from as far as I could tell, right? I'm not certain, but the tackle came in from Bradley. Rashford got up and he's a bit mad. Some kid apparently shouted something, and Rashford looked at the crowd and went, "Rah!" And then the boos. But I can only think it was
because
that's when the booing started.
I was texting back and forth with a couple of lads, and I was like, "What the fuck? Why is he getting booed?"
He basically moaned about a foul against Bradley, and then he couldn't play, and that was it. And then he got booed. And then I don't know what it is, but then at the end of the game. Well, actually, let me go to half time, because I found this interesting. So at half time, there was this big old light show, right?
Yeah.
And the announcer's like, get out your phones. If you want to be a part of the light show, download the app. And I guess the app can do all these crazy things. Anyway, Taffarel, who, by the way, is still at the club, goalkeeping coach, Brazilian god.
Yeah.
He's on the pitch with, I think it was Jaros at half time, like warming him up, right? Yeah. Security comes over, and they're like, get off the pitch. And he's like, what the fuck? Getting ready for the second half. Yeah. The security's like, you need to leave. Right? So he gets
we don't care about the football, the light show is on.
Because of course they're practicing, the goalkeeper's in the goal, and your man Taffarel is having some shots, so they have to go to the end behind the the touchline of the pitch and go to the side, and then the big old light show comes on, which is kind of dramatic. It was all right. It was
good,
big and loud, and fireworks, like
drones, I suppose, as well. No drones, or just fireworks.
Just fire. Yeah, well, it's just fireworks. Yeah. And then the one last point I want to make about the game. At the end of the game, the players, of course, did their walk around, clap the fans and everything. And then a lot of our players do the warm down on the pitch. Pretty standard stuff, right? Like a lot of players were doing that. Not one Man United player did that. Like none of them. None of them came back out. They all just went straight down the tunnel, and that was the last you saw of them. But I was surprised by that.
Yeah,
I would have thought that would be something that's fairly common for a top-tier Premier League team, that you warm down with maybe the players that didn't play.
Especially the last game too, wasn't it? It was the last game of their tour, was it as well? I don't think they played again, did they? I see Chelsea played last night. Just they were shocking bad.
And Chelsea are a mess, aren't they? I mean, it is only pre-season. We know that, but you're basing a lot of this on what happened before, right? Man United, they look like they're going to be the same, and Chelsea look like they have far too many players with a manager that maybe is going to be out of his depth here. I don't know. It was good, but for us,
I was actually halfway through the first half last night. I was thinking to myself, has there ever been a manager fired before the season kicked off? Fired before the season kicked off? Because they were shocking in that first 35 minutes of the game last night.
We might have to get out the phones to look, but I think they have Man City first game of the season.
Jesus, that'll be a rude
Look it up. I think they have Man City, so they'll probably lose that, and then that makes, I think the next game is Crystal Palace. Then it makes, you lose your first game, which you never want to do, right? Then you got to start getting some points on the board. But Chelsea,
you're right.
Man City
at home they have.
Man City,
Chelsea at home. Wow. Chelsea at home,
Chelsea at home against Man City.
Against Man City.
Yeah, not the Star.
It's the Super Sunday.
Super Sunday. But
we kick the whole show off at 6:30 in the morning, don't we? On the Saturday.
Why am I not surprised? Yeah, the 6:30.
The 12:30 kickoff again.
12:30 UK. Woo.
Klopp is gone, but some things never change.
Some things never change. I'm looking forward to it, but we're looking pretty good shape. We look.
Yeah.
We'll circle back to Zubimendi. Hopefully we get this across the line. I'm sure we'll put this out tonight, so it will be out Thursday morning. Maybe we'll get to know more. But you would think, we have 2 more pre-seasons left, both at Anfield.
Both on the same day, right?
Yeah, one I think is behind closed doors.
One's at midday and one's
and that's it. So you would think this deal might be potentially closer than media have let on.
I think usually when it gets to this point.
When it gets to this point, something's close.
Yeah.
Right? So before we wrap this up, anything in pre-season that you've seen, and you could base it on last season as well, that maybe you think we need to really push us going into the season?
Yeah, we need a left back.
I'd agree with that,
that's just the Greek scouser. He's a lovely fella, great crack. He done all right for us, but we need an upgrade there. Robertson's not getting any younger. Got a few injuries last year.
Yep.
We absolutely need a left back. Really surprised that there was a little bit of talk about Gomez being shipped off. I hope we hold on to him. I really like him. I think he's a great option, right back, left back, playing a centre back. He's a good lad, so hopefully he'll keep around. And then it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see get Nunes back up there, where he's going to play, how he's going to play, where does he fit in.
I think there's a must need, right?
Yeah. Did he ever get banned for the fucking thing over here in the Copa America?
I think they quiet. They're like nothing really happened.
Right? I haven't heard disappeared, right?
It's disappeared, so I don't know.
So he got lucky.
But I think the must needs are number 6, which it looks like we're going to get someone, and a left back. Those 2 are the must. I think everywhere else over the pitch, we're decent. I think we're good. Yeah. Yes, you could improve potentially, but I don't think it's anything we would need to panic over. I think we have enough options. We have enough options centre back. We have enough options attacking midfield, and we definitely have enough options. Whether they're all good enough apart from Salah and Jota, that's another question. But we have enough options for the front 3 positions. So Cool. All right, let's wrap it up. And leave it if you want to leave anything in the comments about if you think we need someone else that is a must need, like a 6 and a left back, then let us know. But make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and have a good one.
And go visit us on Instagram and follow us, please.
Please. Delcros did ask extremely nicely.
Politely, yeah.
Like a wonderful, beautiful Irish gentleman.
Is a new season, new me. I'm going with honey rather than vinegar. Don't have me to come with the vinegar.
All right.
Good luck.
Have a good one. Cheers.